Welcome back to the Slasher Siblings podcast. I'm your co-host Cicely.
I'm your host, Hayden.
Today we're talking about Halloween 2. Came
What
out.
a perfect movie to talk about on our first year
Yep.
of the podcast, our second Halloween.
What a classic. This is a good one.
It is.
You liked it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. Was this your first time watching it?
This one, yeah, I thought I saw it before, but no. I must have
Yeah.
saw the other one.
I've definitely obviously seen it. It came out in 1981. It's rated R. It's an hour and 32 minutes. It got a 6.5 out of 10.
I know, that's what I said.
While Dr. Loomis hunts for Michael Myers, a traumatized Laurie is rushed to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, and the Shape, or the Boogeyman, is not far behind.
So go ahead and read the question real quick. We won't
What-
forget this time.
I dropped the card. Sorry, guys. I dropped the card. Alright. Which film in the Alien series is set in Antarctica? AVP, Aliens vs. Predators.
It's just Alien versus Predator.
Oh, wait.
Just it's the singular version.
Just Predator. Sorry. Just Alien vs. Predator.
Rain, you got that one. You were correct. You weren't 100% sure. You just remember the snow from the movie.
Oh my god.
He
Hey,
said
he got
he
it.
saw it, but he just remembers the snow.
That's how
But
you do
you
it.
got it, so good job on that one. We'll read the next question here in a little bit, and we'll just get into the movie. I actually did really like this one. I wasn't exactly surprised, because H2O was the only one I didn't really care for, and I kind of figured everything else would be pretty good.
I like H2O. I know a lot of people don't love it, but I actually do like H2O.
Didn't Dad say that this was his favorite?
I don't remember. We'll have to ask him.
Let's get into it though. I really, really like that it just picks up right from where it left off.
Yeah, literally.
There's literally no gap whatsoever. I really, really love movies that do that.
I
Not
wonder
only
if they filmed it at the same time.
no, they didn't.
They didn't.
One of my fear facts will
I
get into that.
figured you had one.
I really like that because not only is there no gap, but it's literally like immediately picking up from where it left off, making it the truest version of a sequel that you could get.
Oh yeah, it just gets right into it.
Yeah. Like I don't mind, movie sequels that pick up like next year or 10 years later or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is the truest form of a sequel that picks up immediately after the last movie let out. And Evil Dead's that way. I believe one of the Friday the 13th movies is like that. Pretty sure. I can't remember, but I really enjoy movies that immediately start from where it ended. Actually, all three Evil
You
Dead
could
movies
watch
do
them
that.
just back to back, and it'd be one big movie.
It would be. It would just be a 3-hour movie.
Yeah,
Which today is not really that
is
unheard of.
the huge.
I like watching longer movies. I don't like going in for an hour and 15 minutes and then having a part two. I just throw it all into one and give me one big movie. I don't care. The imprint of Michael Myers in the grass.
So funny.
I actually really thought that was cool.
It's so funny.
Because I mean,
Like he just runs up, and it's just like a
a shape of
shape
Michael
of
Myers.
Michael in the grass. It's hilarious.
It kind of gives the impression of the reason they call him the Shape. He's literally a shape in the grass in that moment.
Exactly.
It kind of adds like the supernatural aspect to it as well, because where did he go? He just disappeared out of nowhere. So it's starting the supernatural half of Michael Myers' identity.
Uh-huh.
I also really liked it that the simple fact that he was gone by the time he got down there, because that creates a movie.
It's like, oh shit, where'd he go?
The cop picking up Dr. Loomis I thought was a cool scene. Also kind of funny that he was just like running down the street and then the cop was like, get in the car.
And it was immediately in Michael's POV.
Exactly.
At that point.
That's what I liked about it the most, was that you could see Michael saw Dr. Loomis and he hid from him and he saw the cop, and I really liked that it was following Michael's point of view in this movie for actually a decent portion of it. There was actually a lot of POV of Michael, or shots of Michael walking, which I thought was really cool. And he left the people alone in the trailer, that I was surprised. Although they're old, they're not really in his demographic of murder victims, I guess you could say. But I still was surprised that he just like walked in, grabbed the knife, and left.
Yeah.
I figured he would have killed him or something, but you know, it was still kind of cool to see that differing side of him. And then, well, let me ask this. It kind of makes you think of like why he's picking and choosing that specifically. It's clear that he has a type, and it's, you know, young teenage girls or teenagers in general, because he's killed men before too.
I think it's because when he was little, he killed his sister, and she was around that age. So then,
and
you know, he just stuck with that.
We get a second reason why he likes Laurie so much later in the movie that we don't know yet. But at this point in the movie, it's like, well, okay, why does he pick younger teenage girls? Okay, I guess it would be because of his sister, but why exactly?
Yeah.
And then it's like, but wait a minute, why does he go after Laurie so much? Is it because she got away and he just wants to finish the job, or what? Like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. You're trying to like figure out in the mind of Michael Myers, like why
he targets Laurie.
Exactly. The first kill of the movie was pretty gruesome, if you ask me. It was Annie or whatever. The girl is on the phone with, was it Laurie? No, Annie was on the phone with her friend or whatever.
Yeah.
And she heard someone come in the house. This is immediately after the trailer. And she saw the door open. I would have probably just like took off running.
Yep.
After hearing that there was a murderer.
Why wouldn't you skedaddle?
I don't know. After hearing that there was a murderer and 3 dead bodies right up the road,
I'm out.
I'm out that door, and I'm halfway to Texas already. I'm just taking off sprinting as fast as I can for as long as I can, which is probably 30 seconds. That's still long enough.
Shut up.
That's still long. That's still far enough.
Just 30 seconds. That's all I got.
That's
that sounds
still
like
far
Echo.
enough away from Michael that he might not be able to get me. He might get distracted by Laurie or something, but there's only one way to find out. Just fucking take off running. And then the doctor chases a dude in a mask. And I mean, to be fair, it did kind of seem like him. Although, didn't he have a candy bag? Did he have a candy bag in his hand? I can't remember. I think he did.
Yeah.
And he just like, the way he walked and like looked around, it kind of seemed like Michael Myers.
Uh-huh.
But
yeah, he had a big sack in his hand.
Yeah, I thought so. But the part that kind of seemed funny to me was the fact that the car smacked him. And I mean funny as in like, he was in the middle, like he was crossing the street for like a good 10 seconds before the car showed up and smacked him. And he smacked him so hard straight into the other vehicle. He's like, I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
You had like almost a full minute of hitting those brakes and you didn't touch him once.
I know.
He just full hogged 80 miles an hour, rammed him into a car.
And then it caught on fire.
Like, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know. It just, and it was a cop that did it too. Like, what happened?
What are you doing, bro?
What's going on? But we think that he's dead at this point.
We think.
Which is fair, because it did really look like him, aside for the sack in his hand.
Dressed like him.
Which seems weird
Yeah.
in a way, too, because how that
what,
wasn't really
this isn't a costume yet.
Yeah,
this is a murderer.
Yeah, that happened literally last night.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, why? I thought the same thing when I saw him. I was like, why is he dressed as Michael?
I don't know.
You
Maybe
don't
that's
even know
one of
Michael.
the things people didn't like about the movie. It was like, that makes no sense. Why would he be dressed as Michael? Which, okay, fair, but like, do you really have to think about it that hard?
No.
I don't. I didn't think about it. I was just like, oh, wow, that's kind of crazy, and then continued the movie.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that doesn't make sense, but that's fine.
And then the sheriff sees his daughter. It's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
He was told at the crash scene, right, that his daughter was murdered. And it just goes to show you, like, how did she get murdered so far away?
If he's right there.
If he's right there. But I guess time and place couldn't really...
You can't really determine that, I guess.
Yeah, not at the moment. It could have been him. He could have just killed her however long it took him to walk there, where they were.
Yeah.
And I get it, you know. They didn't know it was him. Fair enough. It looks a lot like Michael, so. I like the way that Michael just blends in with, like, the Halloween goers.
All the time.
And I get it. Like, this is, you know, Halloween. But, like, you would think that there's a crazy murderer that people would be, you know, kind of...
Like, aware?
Yeah. At least, you know,
or
looking
just maybe
around.
Not trick-or-treating?
Yeah, or not trick-or-treating. But it was like... You see this tall, fairly muscular, I guess. He's a stocky guy in this white mask, and he's just walking down with... Michael doesn't really even swing his arms, does he?
Not really.
And it's just like, you should be wary of this guy. Like,
who's that guy?
What kind of costume is that? Kind of thing.
Yeah, just watch out for him.
But, this is actually... I didn't write it down, so I'll just, you know, say it out loud. This is actually the first, like, sequel type movie to do the morning after type. No other movies have, like...
Yeah.
I mean, yes, movies have picked up from where they left off, but, like, the first one ended, and then, like, the next morning, you see all the aftermath still going on. Yeah, this was... I believe it was the first sequel movie, or it was at least the first Halloween movie that showed the morning after. And, like, 2 more movies did that, too, I think. Halloween Kills, I think, was on the list. That shows, like, the morning after.
Yeah.
And then there was one more somewhere in the middle that did that, too. Anyway, Michael's in the hospital now, which seemed extraordinarily easy for him.
Yeah, to do.
Like, there's easy, and then there was Michael getting into the hospital easy. Like, he legit just, like, straight up walked in.
He can get in and out of anywhere.
Pretty much, but it's just the fact that not a single person has noticed him yet.
Yeah.
I mean, he was smart, you know, ducking in and out of rooms and stuff, but, like, since when has there ever been, like, 2 people in a hospital before? You know? How did no one notice that he was in there? It'd probably be a little different today, because there's
you wouldn't be able to
constant people in hospitals.
You wouldn't be able to get that. Get away with that.
But it's still just crazy that he just straight up walks in for at least 5 minutes before he had to hide.
No biggie.
No one cares. Mr. Garrett is the second kill in the movie. The security guard. That's gruesome.
Yeah.
Just getting a straight up claw hammer right into your forehead.
Yeah.
That has to... I couldn't imagine that he died quickly.
Oh.
And he felt every second of that claw going into his brain.
Disgusting.
That's awful. I couldn't imagine that.
Disgusting. I don't even want to.
That's horrid. But we're into our second kill that we see on screen, because I'm sure he's probably killed someone on the way.
Yeah.
Or something.
Just here and there. Sprinkled in a few more
A little
kills.
dessert.
Dessert.
Before the main course.
Dessert before appetizer.
And then there's Laurie's dream. It's kind of weird at the moment because we don't really understand what's going on until much later in the movie. We don't know what's going on yet. But like in the dream, she sees some little kid and this woman telling her, who is clearly her mom, that I'm not your mom, kind of thing. And it kind of like leaves you confused and like wanting answers, like what the fuck's going on, basically. We don't get those answers until much later in the movie, but I thought it was interesting that this scene just created more questions, because through the entire series, you know, they keep talking about, you know, Michael Myers and like what he did and who he was and all this stuff, but you don't actually know who Michael Myers is, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know him because he killed his sister and blah blah blah, and he was in the psych ward, whatever, but like he said, he was silent and he just sat there.
He
So,
didn't move, he didn't talk, he didn't cry.
who was he? No one knows other than his name. And then this just creates an entirely different set of questions. And then he kills the boyfriend and the nurse in the hot tub thingy.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, first time I saw that, I was like, wow.
That's
rough.
I can't even begin to explain like how awful it would be to have like your skin peel off like that and just being drowned in this burning water. And it also begs the question of like, how did his hand not, you know, burn up?
Because he's fucking
he's a supernatural being.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
He
But like, it's
can't
just
be
crazy
touched.
that he's shoving his hand in there and he's
Yeah.
just like, I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
Quick thing about that scene too was the fact that the boyfriend guy, Ben or something, the guy who played Michael Myers, he was supposed to choke him, and he told him like, I'm going to, I think he said he was going to jerk 4 times, and the 4th one just go limp, and I'm gonna, you know, cushion the fall or whatever. So he had it like set up to where it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you just, you know, drop. And he was very conscious about the way that people were dying, because he didn't want them to actually get hurt, like for real. So he was very, while still being a great Michael, he was still trying to be like the best Michael and the best like kind of person without actually injuring the people.
Like the opposite of his character.
Yeah, exactly.
Much.
Being both sides of the character at the same time. Which is really nice, because there are some actors in that sense that like they're so into the serial killer that they just happen to like accidentally stab them and stuff. There have been cases in that point, which it happens. I get it, and if they're not pissed off at each other, then that's understandable. But like, you know, this is one of the instances that he was actually conscious about it. Like Brad Pitt and Troy or whatever. This has nothing to do with horror, but like they were hitting each other so much, like for real, that they ended up starting a bet for every time that they get hit in the head or the body or the legs or something, they had to pay each other a certain amount of money.
Oh my god.
And they both hit each other accidentally so many times that it ended up being even, so they just didn't know each other anything. Yeah. But it's still the fact that like it happens, and this dude was like extra conscious about it. He was trying not to hurt people. Which is nice. But anyway, that was a really gruesome scene, just watching her skin peel off of her face.
Disgusting.
And she drowns in the hot water while she's burning alive, pretty much. It's gross. And then Dr. Mixter and the nurse are killed. That was a pretty wild reveal, when he just spins around in the computer chair and he had a needle in his eyeball.
Gross.
I don't
Gross.
And then he basically kills the nurse the exact same way. I don't know this for a fact. I didn't look it up. But I believe he took the needle and injected like air into their brain and caused a stroke. That's the only like scientifically possible thing that I know in my brain.
Oh my god.
Imagine how much worse and more gruesome that is to inject someone with air into their brain to where they get a stroke and they just die on the floor.
Yeah, that's
Like I said, I don't know that for 100% fact because I didn't look it up. But I think that's entirely possible. And that's
pretty gnarly.
That's way worse than just being stabbed.
Yeah.
That wasn't a quick death, even though it looked like a quick death. You like go into a coma and then you eventually die.
That's like a long, painful death.
Exactly. That's crazy. That kind of adds the more like supernatural, animalistic.
I'd rather just get it over with.
Yeah. Animalistic type side of Michael Myers too. More bloodthirsty, I guess.
Yeah.
So somehow Laurie gets out of a room in time, which is fair enough. I don't know. It was kind of weird and kind of unexplained that like all of a sudden she was like in a coma, not moving or whatever, and then all of a sudden she's running down the hall.
Yeah.
It's odd, but I don't really think about it too much because she could have woken up. It was just perfect timing.
Yeah, I was gonna say weird timing.
It was a very big coincidence that she woke up in enough time to get out of the room and get away from Michael Myers, which is whatever. Don't think about it too much. It's just movie logic. Let it go.
It's just movie logic. Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
No, not all the time. And then the head nurse was killed off screen. She was attached to the gurney and had a hose coming out of her arm just bleeding out onto the floor. Like, that's disgusting and rough at the same time, because you're basically bled like a stuck pig.
Ew.
Just hanging from the ceiling, just draining your blood.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy gets knocks himself out by slipping in the blood. That has to be, I don't know what's worse. Having your blood drained out of your body to kill you, or possibly dying from slipping in someone else's blood, knocking yourself out onto the floor, and then just like marinating in the blood.
Ugh.
Because he was laying there for a while before he got up and ran and stuff. That's rough. It's disgusting.
I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
And then that nurse, her car got sabotaged. So this has been extremely well thought out by Michael. Like, this is clearly not the first time he's done this.
Clearly.
This is the second time. Or the second movie, I mean. But, like, he premeditated. Like, I gotta cut the brake lines or the stop the gas from going to the car, something, so that these people can't get away. And it's just wild to see how much time, like, how fast he did that before coming in the hospital. Because, I mean, I guess you don't really know how long the movie is in, like, real world time. It could have been all within 45 minutes. It could have all been within 8 hours. We don't know. But it's still the fact that he, like, went and sabotaged all the cars in the parking lot and then went in and started killing people. And he's clearly had a lot of time to think about this, so...
Yeah, that's what he does best, so...
He thought about it for the last... What was it? 27 years or something like that?
He had a lot of time to think and plan, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. And then he killed another nurse. The nurse that he sabotaged her car. And he fucking stabbed her with a scalpel and picked her up off the floor.
That was nasty, too.
That's awful.
Ew, I could feel that one.
I know. That one you could feel in your back when he stabbed her and started picking her up.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever do the Friday 13th experience at like Kennywood or whatever? No. Now that was cool.
Oh, really?
There was like an experience or something, and like you're sitting in the theater chairs watching like Friday 13th, and then when he goes to stab someone in the back, this rod comes and stabs you in the back.
I hate that.
Oh, it was wild. They had a sign saying like, "Oh, this is an immersive experience. Things will happen to you in the seats. Are you okay?" By entering, you're okay with like pretending to be stabbed or whatever, and like this rod just stabs you in the back as soon as he stabs her in the back. It scared a lot of people. You heard a lot of people scream when that happened.
Yeah, I probably would have been one of those people.
Probably. But there was like, you could hear it, the noise he makes. You could hear it like in your ear and stuff. Just, that's what I imagine. That rod that stuck into my back whenever I was at the Friday 13th experience.
I hate that.
That was wild. But Michael chasing Laurie again.
As per usual.
And it's through the basement or whatever, the storage area.
Yeah.
And she's just finding ways to just barely escape Michael.
Yeah.
Just
close calls.
Not quite there,
close
but
calls.
like super close. And she finally, gets out into the parking lot and hides in that car. But this is also the big reveal of the movie, that there was a secret file in Michael that Dr. Loomis had never seen before. Just kind of messed up because he's trying to help him and he doesn't really know everything about him. But I get that, it was sealed by the mayor or whatever to protect Laurie being his sister, which explains a good bit.
Yeah.
Of why he wants to kill her so badly is because they are brother and sister. And
what are you saying?
Watch it. I am tall. I just have to throw a
you
white.
You are Michael Myers tall. He's Michael Myers thick.
And anyway, Laurie gets adopted by this new family after he kills everybody. Except Laurie.
Yes.
Which kind of, in a
he
tiny
liked the baby, though. That's what I don't understand. He liked the baby.
Is that it? Is that the reason?
When he was younger, he liked the baby, so I don't know why he wants to kill Laurie. Because Laurie was the baby.
Yeah. I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
Was it explained in a later movie or something?
It's in one of the movies when it shows where he's younger.
Okay.
Rob Zombie. Halloween.
I don't remember
You've
that
never
one.
seen that one?
I'm trying to think, but I can't remember.
It shows him when he's little and
that he liked the baby.
Yeah.
I can't remember. That just sounds like he was trying to make sense of that, because at this point, it doesn't really fully make sense. The whole adopting thing part makes sense, but the fact that he killed everyone else in the family except Laurie doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But now that's, now that makes sense in a later movie, it's because he liked the baby.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, watch Rob Zombie's Halloween and it'll make a little more sense.
That's probably another thing that people were like, okay, that's stupid, it gets a lower score kind of thing, because that makes no sense kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess you just gotta know.
Yeah. Which it wasn't confirmed until years later. But this is also the scene that Michael just walks straight through the glass door.
Yeah.
That's intimidating as hell.
I love it.
Just a dude just straight up walks through glass.
I bet you can do that.
I don't know. Probably not. I don't know about that one. I don't want to try.
Nah, I wouldn't.
He just straight up just goes straight through the door like it wasn't even there.
Oh, that's Michael Myers for you.
Yeah, but like that would scare the living piss out of me.
Oh yeah, I'd shit my pants.
But the marshal didn't listen, and he gets killed next. Dr. Loomis told him, don't touch him. He's not dead. Just stay away from him while we figure out how to actually kill him. And there you go. You get your throat sliced.
Sorry about it.
You didn't listen. And when someone, I know that they don't know that they're in a horror movie, but like in a horror movie, if someone tells you not to do something and the killer's nearby, probably shouldn't do that thing that they tell you not to do. The killer's gonna kill you almost every time. Example, Marshall. He said, don't touch him. Don't get close to him. You get murdered.
You're done for.
And people are being chased by a killer and someone says, don't open that closet door. It's fine. They open the closet door, get a knife in their eye.
That's it.
Don't do the thing that people tell you don't do.
Do it.
Don't do it, and you'll live. Maybe you might die later. I don't know. I like
You might die.
I like whenever they're in that room and Michael's walking towards Laurie or toward Dr. Loomis or whatever. I think it was Laurie. And she says his name and it stops him for a second.
Yeah.
It shows that he's like still like human in a way.
A little bit.
And at this point, he's leaning more towards supernatural.
Yes.
He's not fully supernatural yet, because I know Halloween he gets resurrected in one of the movies. I did see that one. And that creates the supernatural being that we know as of today. But then when she said his name, it kind of stops him and shows the little bit of a humanity that's still left, but is very quickly leaving. And then the doctor sacrifices himself, which makes complete sense because it's clear that like there was only one way to stop him, and it also seemed like a definitive ending just in case they couldn't make a third one. They ended up making, what is it, 9 or 10 or something? Because the newest Halloween was at number 9.
I don't even know, dude.
It's like 9 or 10 or something. I forget how many movies
we'll have
there are.
to check that.
But it definitely seemed like a definitive ending because they actually never planned on making number 2. It was just a spur of the moment type thing. And it was a more definitive, and it makes sense that the doctor sacrificed himself to save Laurie. And in the one way that probably was the only way to stop Michael. And as we can tell when he gets resurrected, that is what ends up killing him. But so I gave this movie at least a 7.5.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Fair enough.
I think all the Halloween movies are pretty high up. I know there were some things that didn't make sense, which is why I didn't give it a 10.
Yeah, that's fair.
The first one I do give a 10.
I liked the first Halloween better, in my opinion, and I think I gave it like an 8 or something. Something like that, so I didn't want to give it higher.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I did like it, and better than a 6.5.
Yeah, I'm a big Michael Myers girl, so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have a sticker in your car, so.
No, he's not there.
You took him off.
Yeah.
Why?
I had him off for some reason. I think I washed my car, because the first time I washed my car, I left him on, he got murdered.
Oh.
So, I might have to run to Spirit Halloween and get another one. He's only $5.
Oh, well, yeah, just buy like 50 of them and just keep them
every
at
year.
home. And every time you have to take them off, just put a new one on. Okay, so I got some fear facts here.
Okay.
For the first one, the guy who did Michael Myers' name is Dick Warlock.
Okay. Nice name, by the way. Love that.
So the way that he got the part, he wasn't like even being like considered or whatever, I guess. He was he just happened to be walking past a room that had the mask in it. He was like, He puts it on, walks into the director's office, opens the door, and just stands in the doorway and stared at him. Didn't say a word. And
probably scared the heebie-jeebies out of that guy.
And the director was like, who are you? Get out of here. What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then, like, after a few minutes of him just staring and standing there, he takes off the mask and was like, can I play Michael? And that's how he got the part.
Wow. That's pretty sick.
And there was a feud between one of the other directors or something about his walk, the way he walks in this movie. It does seem kind of strange, like a little different.
Uh-huh.
But it was to the point where he was doing it that way because he was told to do it that way. And then the lady was like, oh yeah, it's fine, it works, I like it. And then like after the movie came out, she was like, it was such an awful walk. And he got pissed off. Dick got pissed off because he was like, why didn't you just tell me that you didn't like it and I would have just changed it instead of waiting for the movie to come out. Like, I guess he had like a big feud going on because of that.
Tea.
And this movie was never intending on being made. This was not supposed to happen. So it happened years later. I forget how many years, but it had already been the time where Jamie Lee Curtis wore her hair short.
Okay.
But it needed to be the same because it's immediately after the
Yes.
first one. It's the next morning. So she actually had to wear a wig in this movie
Do
that
you wear
looked-
wigs?
that looks exactly like her hair in the first one because she had already
She cut it.
cut it. And that was what you were
right.
asking earlier, and I said that was
Got it.
the fear fact that explained that this wasn't
Got it. Got
filmed
it.
on the same at the same
I'm
time.
following.
Jamie Lee Curtis played Laurie in 6 different decades,
That's insane.
isn't it? So she's played Laurie her whole life. I know that she loves that role.
Yeah.
She loves playing Laurie and loves to be in the Halloween movies, but like that's crazy to think that one actor has played her character for 6 in 6 different decades.
That's insane.
Not just for 6 decades, but in 6 different decades. There has been a Halloween movie in every decade since. Wild. Or not every decade since, but 6 different ones.
Wow.
That's absolutely crazy.
That's crazy to think about.
And for my last one, not including the ones that I had said during the podcast in general, but the blood tears when he gets shot in the eyes or whatever.
Yeah.
There was actually a blood bulb in his forehead. So when he reaches up and grabs his eyes from being shot, that's when he broke the bulb.
Ew.
And the blood started coming out of his mask like tears.
Oh, okay.
You can see it
Yeah.
once you know, but like in the movie it was so well done that you can't tell that he was just breaking a blood bulb. It
That's
looked
crazy.
like he was actually shot and he was covering his eyes or whatever, which is good. I like that from an actor. Just like the newer version of Jason, I really liked the dude who did it in the newer version of the movie. He did a really good job. He was scary and intimidating.
Pretty freaky.
And I like this dude who did Michael a lot. He
Me
did
too.
really well. And I don't really care about the walk being a little slower. It was strange compared to how he walked in the first one.
Still creepy
but
though.
It was still very, very creepy. So you have anything you want to say about this one?
One of my favorites. Halloween is one of my favorites.
Yep.
Always has, always will be. 'Tis the season.
'Tis the season. And it's the second year we're starting our second year of the podcast.
Crazy.
Celebrating spooky season, a good month of movies, and this is our first year of the podcast. So we, thank you for listening this long.
Thanks, guys.
And we appreciate you still listening. For the people that are listening, that way we can have a reason to still make it, because it's giving us a reason
To do
not
it.
that we needed much of a reason to watch horror movies, but it's giving us an extra reason
a
to
little
watch.
motivation.
Yeah, there's a bunch of movies that I wanted to see that I haven't seen before that I finally watched because of the podcast, and there's movies I've never heard of, such as like
same.
Killer Sofa. I never would have thought
Rubber.
about Rubber. I've seen Rubber before because of the hype,
I've never. Thanks, podcast.
but yeah, we appreciate you listening still
Yeah, we do.
all this time later, and we're gonna keep going as long as people want us to, and it would still be fun, to do like kind of haunted trail videos. And
Yeah,
stuff,
that'd be fun. I want to do
haunted
it.
houses and
I
whatnot.
want to do it. We
So
should start this month.
definitely, if that sounds interesting, then just let us know on the Facebook, because we'd like to do it if people would watch it. So, all right, you want to say anything before we sign off for this episode?
We got a question to read.
Yeah, but you
Okay.
you have anything?
Thought you forgot.
You have
I'm trying
anything you
not to
want to
forget.
say?
I'm just excited it's October.
Yeah,
I'm in such a better mood. I'm trying to wear a Halloween shirt every day.
There you go.
I got my Halloween Town on today. I was gonna wear a Michael shirt, but it's pretty chilly out. And
Yeah.
I was a little cold, so I wore my Halloween Town crew neck. I encourage everybody to wear their spooky shirts this month.
Absolutely.
If you have any, I don't know.
Who
I
knows?
do have a good collection. I will admit. Not to brag, not to brag. That's all
Well,
I got.
It's also time for me to decorate my car a little more for Halloween.
Yeah, I just decorated my house last night.
I was gonna do it probably this
I'm a little
weekend.
late. Usually I do it like end of September. But actually when I get back from vacation, I just haven't had time.
So go ahead and read that question. The next
Kate
one.
Bosworth and Thomas Jane star in this 2016 supernatural film in which their son's nightmares become reality.
Cool. So
I think I've heard of that. I think I've actually
I've heard of it.
seen it.
But if you know the answer, put it on the Facebooks, and we'll shout you out if you got it right,
Yep.
just like Rain did today. Good job, Rain.
Good job.
He knows his movies
Good job.
about winter time and snow. Anyway, our next movie is going to be Candyman.
Uh-oh.
I've never seen this one. I heard
Neither
good
have I.
things about it,
I've heard it's good.
and I do like the actor that does the Candyman.
Who is it?
I don't remember his name,
Alright.
but I've seen him in a couple movies, and I really liked him. So this should be a good movie.
Yeah. I think
Well,
so too.
With that, we will catch you next week with Candyman.
Catch you later.